My background is actually architecture and urban planning in general. So I've done a lot of master planning, I've done a lot of architectural design. This, in fact, is the first expo that I have worked on the design and the master planning for it. As a way to understand a bit more about expos, I went in 2015 to Milan and didn't go into any of the pavilions. I just went to see how it was all planned and how it was all organized and what the signage was like, and places for people to sit and relax, and places where there was excitement, and how it was all arranged. You see these trees that we see on the side here, those are all solar panels, and they turn to follow the sun like sunflowers, so they get maximum benefit from the sun. The planting, again, because of the whole sustainability theme, the landscaping in there and actually around the site generally is we use a very high percentage of indigenous plant material, which is an interesting thing for visitors because they're coming from overseas, they think they're coming to a desert. There's a lot of beautiful plants that thrive in the desert. So the Sustainability Pavilion shows off some of those plants. And again, and in all the concourse areas, all the public landscaping, over 90% of our plant material is either indigenous or adaptive plant species. So of course it uses a lot less irrigation as well because it's already adapted to the climate. So it's a very sustainable approach, an educational approach for the visitors.
There are over 100 million trees in the UAE. The types of trees planted were carefully selected on their ability to survive and withstand the climate. So we gained experience over time. Harnessing the knowledge and understanding of proven species, our architects selected over 90 different species of trees to be used at Expo on the public realm. We have over 800 garth trees on site, which is incredible.
I'm the man who is behind all the plantation in Site-wide Expo. I believe this garth is the biggest garth tree ever transplanted in the UAE. This is one of the native species in UAE and the symbol of UAE as well.
So what we've created again is a woodland within Expo. This is essentially a small example of greening the desert. Well, this area was sand just 2 years ago. There was nothing here. And what we've created by in implementing these very old, highly tolerant, drought-tolerant trees, we've created essentially a canopy for all this understory planting to exist. The selected, adaptive type species. And you can hear the birds. We're surrounded by all sorts of fauna and flora, and it's incredible. And this is essentially an example of greening the desert and how it works, the ecosystem.
Azerbaijan is located in the sustainability district. Our pavilion is mainly tree and the leaf. Tree is known as the symbol of life, and from the bottom side you can see the roots of the tree. We have used wood, which is a sustainable material, and also the bridge made out of wood.
The Polish pavilion is very narrow on the bottom, and then it expands as we go through the higher floors, which resembles a tree. The facade is made out of wood. We have brought in real plants and piece of forest to Dubai, so this gives the first impression about the nature of Poland.
The Oman Pavilion draws its inspiration from the beautiful nature of our country, and the pavilion itself got its source of inspiration from the frankincense tree. When you look at the ceiling or the facade of the building, we have wooden fins. They're 100% sustainable, and they come from a harvested alpine forest. Where the wood is harvested, that's when they use the wood.
The umbrella design, it's a smart tree. So basically, whilst the visitors are waiting in line, they can check in the screens everything about Hungary, about the tourism in Hungary. So that meant to be a platform for the visitors. As long as they enjoy to hanging out in the shade of the smart tree, then we are happy with it.
So Malaysia Pavilion, for the first time, is delivering a net zero carbon pavilion. We have 16 trees that is carefully selected. Additionally, we have also planted more than 3,000 potted plants throughout our entire pavilion to give an overall luscious feel, so that when you're walking through, it's as though you're walking through a forest.
It is a self-made pavilion, and we are always aware of sustainability, especially related to wood. So the whole pavilion was developed around this tree because of preservation is very important, which is something that we also exhibit and show during the whole pavilion content, that preservation is the basis for our future.
This is from plantation. We're not doing anything for the environment other than potentially competing with how much meat we can put on our plate for dinner versus the timber we can use in our sustainable construction. None of this timber has been grown on old growth forest land, and it's been on prior farming land. So from an environmental and culturally sensitive perspective, this is the most ecologically friendly timber we can have.
If you look behind me, we can see that Belarus Pavilion is a 3-story building which combines practically 1,600 square meters. And in front of the pavilion, the visitors are met by this symbol of the digital trees. The digital forest is the representation of the theme of our pavilion, which is Forest of Future Technologies. Meaning that we wanted to combine two ideas of nature and technology coexisting and reaching great results together.
More than 30% of territory is covered by forests, and forestry is very important part of our activities. Not only for relaxing and hunting or whatever, it is also a field of economy. If you see above, you may see whatever you imagine, but we imagine this as a tree. And we enjoy these wooden stairs here. How nice it is, how wood is very natural, and you really want to touch it, and you want to sit there, to relax, to stay.
The main element of this forest of intelligence is the tree of balance. In the tree of balance, we are representing the collective intelligence. So it's a tree where the roots are becoming tests for people to give their feedback and about their awareness about environment.
So this is the area where we have most plants in our pavilions. We have actual plants, we have moss on the walls, and we have this one nature tree in the pavilion, I think, which is quite special. The tree is an actual oak tree from Germany. The tree was taken down and then dried, so it doesn't go bad inside here. The leaves are fake because they would fall down like in autumn, but the tree as such is an actual tree from Germany.
The biggest trees in Suriname are called the kankan tree. And the kankan tree is very special for us because actually they are protecting the whole Amazon, the kankan tree. It is believed that you shouldn't cut the kankan tree because they are the mother of the trees. We have to be very precious with nature because without nature we cannot live. We cannot get our oxygen. We have to preserve every tree, every living creature, because Earth has to be in balance, and without the balance we cannot live.
The main idea of how to discover Moldova is here, in this carpet. Here we can see the Tree of Life. This is the official brand of the country, and each element in that symbol will gonna tell you about my country. These symbols you can see on the carpet, on the walls, from the outside, and even in my passport.
Switzerland, actually, if you go up to the hills and mountains, the forest is actually growing. We know that in many parts of the world, deforestation is a big topic, whereas in Switzerland, I'm really happy to say the forest is growing. Only a very small portion of the forest is actually wild and not touched. Most of the forests in Switzerland are managed by the government. 80% is with the government, 20% is in private hands, and it's basically managed forests. That means we cut trees, we produce beautiful products such as this parquet floor. We cut, but we also replant, so that's how we manage the forest.
It's surprising to me, I'm a horticulturist, in my background it's surprising to see over such a short space of time, in what, a year and a half, like 2 years, how we've created this ecosystem. There's we've got birds flying above us, we've got butterflies, we've got spiders, we've got all sorts of things. And bees, various beehives all around us, and all working together in harmony. The other benefits of trees, not just to people, give shape to our seasonals and allow them to perform over a longer season, meaning we don't need to replace them, reducing the water usage. During seasonal pruning of trees, we've taken the wood and we've chipped it in our nursery and we've repurposed it back on site. So repurposing this wood and this resource is obviously very important to our landscape. Finally, perhaps the most important when it comes to the human impact is the capturing of carbon from the atmosphere, known as carbon sequestration or biosequestration. As trees grow, so does the ability to capture and store carbon and atmospheric greenhouse gases. It's important to recognise how all of the above can coexist, enabling an urban environment to truly flourish and offset both the human impact and desertification as set out by His Highness Sheikh Zayed. Thank you.